Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com. It's in the description below. It is your purchase and pricing email question line for contacting me about the price of this or any Watchbox watch. So email me for pricing. I am tmosso at thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing a 2023 model year limited edition of 10 pieces in tantalum. I am passionate about this watch, and in a few minutes, I hope you will be as well, because I have rarely encountered a timepiece so packed with beauty, features, and value. This is the H. Moser Cie Endeavour Perpetual Tantalum USA Limited Edition. It has a counterpart, 10 pieces with a jade dial, also in tantalum, but the lapis that you see here is my favorite of the two. 42 millimeters in diameter, it's 13.5 millimeters thick, and from lug tip to lug tip, 48.5 millimeters with a 20 millimeter spacing between the lugs. I adore this watch, and while 42 is a large timepiece, you can see on my 16 centimeter circumference wrist, the watch wears well. Actually, the lugs don't project beyond the edge of my wrist, and you can see they're really not even close to the edge of my wrist. That's the benefit of having a watch that's less than 49 millimeters across. It means that it's going to fit a wrist as small as 15 centimeters circumference. Also, the shape of the lugs, short, cropped, tightly downturned, mitigates against fit issues. The watch is 13.5 millimeters thick, which means fairly thin for its complexity, and it has a sloped concave bezel that allows a dress cuff to ride up and over it quite easily. So you can wear this as a dress watch, but it's more of an all-arounder. It wears well casually as well as formally. On the top, the strap is made of black kudu in a matte finish. There's a monotone stitch. There's a sheer cut side showing the layers of leather. On the bottom, you can see no crimping, no gouging. A brand new Moser factory strap. It's calfskin on the bottom, kudu on the top. You could see that the spring bars here are slightly curved so that the lugs can be drilled close to the case, but there's no impediment to the motion, again, because of the curvature of the spring bar used. Now, the buckle is steel. The crown and the case back are steel, and the watch is intended to be a fairly subtle two-tone. There's beauty in that subtlety, and we'll take another look at it in a moment. The buckle is simple. The Moser script, a combination of satin and polish, and then the buckle has the same arced sort of cambered curvature that you get on the lugs. There's a lot of design parallelism here. The case, as with other Moser cases, was machined and hand finished, but God is in the details, and Moser refuses to explain exactly how it is machined and hand finished. It took 2 years of trial and error and quite a bit of failure to get to the point where Moser and its case supplier felt like they had a luxury grade product that they could sell to customers, because tantalum is just that difficult to work. CEO Edouard Maillan told me that they wore out roughly one set of tools per case made in the production of the tantalum watches. Now, you might also say that, well, this timepiece is as complex in its shape as a standard Endeavour, and you'd be right. Just because it's hard doesn't mean they pulled back. Satination on the midcase, mirrored hollows within the concaves of the lugs, polished lug hoods, and the bezel polished all the way around. And it is that lovely fluid Endeavour case shape that looks like molten metal drawn out and flash frozen. You can see that the bezel is concave all the way around, but it swells at 6 o'clock and 12 o'clock. We have a conical knurled crown, again, that in steel. There's a very subtle contrast between the white of the steel and the blue-gray of the tantalum. And with tantalum, you really feel the weight. It's heavy like gold. Taking a quick look at the dial, you can see LAPIS Lazuli. Now, no two of these 10 dials are going to be exactly alike. We've got leaf-style hands for the hours and minutes, alpha-style hands for the power reserve and the constant seconds. We have a little stub index at center that's part of the Perpetual Calendar system. This is the Andreas Streller Perpetual Calendar system, originally developed for Moser back in 2005 when the brand was first reestablished. And you can actually set it in both directions. You have 12 hours, corresponding to 12 months. So right here you can see the index is pointing to 9. 9 is September. It is September 29th. And I can set back and forth here. Very few perpetual calendars can do this. It is a super durable, almost unbreakable design. And if you look carefully, you can see how Streller achieved such a large date disc. There's actually 2 overlapping discs. You can see the seam between them. This way you don't have to have one huge disc necessitating a huge dial. This is a big date that uses 2 overlapping discs with large dates included. Now, taking a quick look, other features, well, the watch does include hacking seconds, so you can stop the seconds hand, synchronize to a reference time to the second. It's very easy to use the quick set 2 with the date. set things right. Power reserve indicator, rated at 7 days. In fact, it will run for almost 9 days. That is German Swiss watchmaking, under-promising and over-delivering. Flip it all over again. You can see that really subtle contrast between the steel of the crown and the case back and the blue-gray of the case. Looking at the movement, you can see this is 1 of 10, and they are individually numbered. By the way, take a look at the case back. It has a curved camber to it, so as with the tightly downturned lugs, the curve of the case back helps the watch sit securely on a small wrist. Now, this is the Moser HMC 800, but it's got a couple of major changes. First, let's talk about the basics. Twin mainspring barrels, rated 7-day power reserve. It'll run for almost about 9 or 10, sometimes even close to 10. You also can see that it also has a little leap year phase indicator that's indexed with a little pusher on the side. Andreas Streller decided you rarely needed to see the leap year phase on a perpetual calendar, so he put it on the case back to clean it up. His specialty through the years has been hidden complications and deceptively simple functions, and this is pursuant to that philosophy. Now, it beats away at 18,000 vibrations per hour, and it has a platform system, so you can lift out the balance bridge, the hairsprings, the balance, the escapement. All of that comes out to be replaced by a pre-serviced module at any of Moser's regional service centers. So not only do they service regionally, but they also have pre-adjusted, pre-assembled, pre-lubricated assortment platforms that speeds the return of the watch to you. You can also see that the balance is free-sprung with a full balance bridge for durability, so it's got a sports watch toughness inherent in it. If you look carefully, you can also see it as a solid gold escapement. The hairspring, the escapement, the balance, all made in-house by Moser's precision engineering subsidiary. They can make some of the most challenging parts of the watch, and the solid gold escapement in 14 karat gold, that's mechanical grade gold, reduces friction and reduces the need for lubrication. This is something you will not find on the standard Abyss Blue enamel dial version of the Tantalum Perpetual. It's true, there is an Abyss Blue enamel dial version of this watch, same technical spec, same case size, same tantalum, but you will not get a diamond capstone atop the balance on the standard production version. Well, while the sapphire rubies in this movement are synthetic, that is a real brilliant cut diamond acting as the capstone below the Inca block shock protection. Now, another great feature here, I'll try to remove some fingerprints, is that the hairspring is actually a double flat hairspring. And by taking 2 identical flat hairsprings and then pinning the stud 180 degrees opposed, it instantly cancels out the effect of gravity, achieving in a wristwatch format instantaneously what a tourbillon required minutes to achieve back in the pocket watch era. So if I turn the watch, because the orientation of the hairsprings, one will start breathing faster, the other by an equal and opposite margin slower. They always counteract each other by equal and opposite margins, maintaining isochronism, regularity, and ultimately great precision no matter what position the watch is in. It's even better than an overcoil, and truth be told, it's even better than a tourbillon. Now, the watch includes 30-meter water resistance, so don't take it swimming, and you can see a number of nostalgic elements. The bridges are split for easier maintenance and service, but you can see they're designed to read like a 3/4 bridge on a 19th century Moser pocket watch. We also have pivot jewels for both barrel arbors and then the drivetrain in golden chaton fixed by screws, a nod to old-school watchmaking when you couldn't press a jewel directly into bridges and plates because of precision issues with the tools. You would make a golden chaton that was precision cut to hold the jewel and then fix that into the bridge or the plate using screws. And so this has that for beauty and tradition. We have double-crested Côte de Genève across the bridge, a unique Moser feature. The beveling is mostly mechanical, but it's attractive as on Audemars Piguet. And actually, there's a little bit more hand finishing here than you'll find on a standard AP, so certainly nothing to sneeze at. You can see there's a lovely media-blasted gold-based for this removable platform escapement. And then all screw heads have been black polished with their slots and circumference chamfered. You can also see that there's a lovely swan's neck style extended click spring, and that the crown wheel core has been satinated, and that the crown wheel has been polished on its canted outboard angled face. So a lot of lush and lovely detail here. This is as good as it gets. No, this is great. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details of this 10-piece limited edition.